David, let us know when we can get started once you start accepting everybody in.
So you've actually got about 9 attendees in right now. So I figured just let people filter in for a couple minutes, 10 now, 11.
Okay, I can see the number. Once it starts to slow down, I'll just start. Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. The purpose of this town hall tonight is to answer any questions you may have regarding the pass, no pass policy passed under AB104. Si necesitan la información en español, por favor, hagan clic el símbolo del mundo abajo en su pantalla. If you have any questions throughout this town hall, you may type them on the Q&A portion of this Zoom. Please include the school your student attends so that the right person addresses your question. If you're watching us through Facebook tonight, please use the link provided to ask any questions you may have. We will not be able to see any questions posted on Facebook, so make sure you're using the right link to post the questions. I would like to start out the town hall by introducing myself and other members here tonight. My name is Selma Gonzalez. I am the Director for Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment for secondary schools. We have people here who represent each of your schools and can provide additional information or support beyond this town hall tonight. So I'll go ahead and introduce our folks, starting from the way I see our titles. I have Bianca Rodriguez, who's a counselor at Madera South. I have Sabrina Rodriguez, who's a principal at Matilda Torres High School. Rebecca Bray, she's our counselor at Madera South. Amy Anderson, she's our principal at Madera South. Sarah White is our counselor on special assignment for Madera Unified. Marty Bitter is our athletic director for the district. Hilda Castrejon is the principal for Furman High School. Jordan Murphy is our AD at Matilda Torres. Ara Collegian is principal for Ripperden High School, middle school as well. Andrea Devine is our athletic director for Madera High. Yes, no, Madera South, sorry. Aide Ibarra Garcia is translating for us, and she's a district academic coach. Alejandro Juarez is our principal for Mountain Vista High School. Jordan Murphy is our athletic director for Madera High. I should have looked at the, no, is that correct?
That's John Fernandez.
John Fernandez. Okay, so Jordan, can you introduce Jordan, Marty, for me?
Yeah, Jordan, you got earlier. Jordan Murphy is the athletic director at Matilda Torres, and John's name is Jordan on his screen there.
Oh,
he's
got
the
it.
blue with the coyote behind him.
I just realized we had a couple Jordan Murphy links on here. Sorry about that. Robin Cosgrove is our principal for Madera High. We have David Soloria supporting us with IT tonight. Michael Ledesma is our counselor for Madera High School. And Sarah Bonilla is our counselor for Matilda Torres. So what we'll do now is we'll start showing a video that's on our district website about information around the pass no pass policy for grade change for the 2020-2021 school year. The video has been posted on the website. You can watch it at any time, and it is available in Spanish as well. Hopefully this will help you make some decisions or help you consider through some things as you make a decision about requesting this grade change. David, do you want to go ahead and cue the video?
Hello everyone, my name is Selma Gonzalez. I am the Director for Secondary Curriculum, Instruction and Assessment. I'm here today to talk to you about an important bill recently passed regarding pass, no pass grades. It is time sensitive, so if your student was a 9th, 10th, or 11th grader in the 2020-2021 academic school year, please listen carefully to see how it could impact your students' grades and grade point average for graduation, for college, and potentially financial aid. In this session, we will go over what AB104 is and also discuss how this could impact your students' graduation status. If you are planning on applying to a California State University, what you would need to consider. If you're planning on applying to a University of California, also what you would need to consider. We will also share how you can see if this will impact your financial aid eligibility for college. Assembly Bill 104 was recently passed and signed into law by the governor. There are 3 sections to the bill. The first section addresses retention, the second section addresses pass, no pass grading, and the third section addresses graduation requirements. Today we will focus on the area around the pass, no pass grading. Recognizing that students have experienced some hardships during the pandemic with school closure and participating in distance learning most, if not all, of the school year, this Assembly Bill authorizes a parent guardian of a student who is enrolled in high school and was enrolled in courses during the 2020-2021 school year to apply to change the grade for that course to a pass or no pass grade on the student's transcript for any course enrolled in 2020-2021. This bill authorizes the school district to make the requested change. There is no limit on the number of courses that are requested to change from a letter grade to a pass, no pass, as long as it does not negatively affect the student's grade point average, nor should it put a student at risk for not being eligible for state or institutional financial aid for college. This bill requires all California State Universities to accept a pass, no pass grade. Prior to the pandemic, California State Universities required a letter grade for courses needed to meet A through G eligibility and college entrance requirements. The bill also encourages all other California colleges and universities to accept a pass, no pass grade. The California Department of Education will post the list of California colleges that accept pass, no pass grades on their website. A link to this list will be included on the Madera Unified School District website. As of today, all California State Universities and Universities of California colleges will accept a pass, no pass grade. We will discuss in more detail what implications it may have in admissions so that you consider those when determining whether you will be requesting a grade change from a letter grade to a pass, no pass grade. So what does it mean to change from a letter grade to a pass or no pass grade? It means that you can change any letter grade of an A, B, C, D, or F to a pass or no pass grade. The slide you are seeing right now indicates how that grade will be converted. This doesn't mean that you should change every grade to a pass, no pass grade, but you might want to consider changing grades of a D or an F to a pass or no pass grade. The biggest impact the grade change will have will be on your grade point average, or GPA. Let's look at an example on the next slide. In this scenario, a student received a D in English 2A, which gives them 5 credits, and an F in Math 2A, which gives them 0 credits. If this student requests a grade change for both courses, the D is converted to a pass grade, and the F is converted to a no pass grade. This does not affect the credits they receive for these courses, but does improve their GPA. Now let's look at the same example with all the letter grades included to see how this affects the GPA. First, let's look at the original grades and calculate the GPA. In this example, we will include all grades in the GPA. Each grade has a point value. For courses that are not augmented, an A equals 4 points, a B equals 3 points, a C equals 2 points, a D equals 1 point, and an F equals 0 points. The GPA is calculated by adding all the points together and dividing by the number of courses a student took. So in this sample, the student gets 1 point for the D, 0 points for the F, 3 points for each B, 4 points for the A, and 2 points for the C. Added together, that equals 13 points. We divide 13 points by 6 because the student took 6 classes. So the student's grade point average, or GPA, is 2.167. Now let's look at the same student if we made the pass, no pass grade revision. Pass, no pass grades do not have a point value and are no longer included in the GPA. When the D and the F are converted to a pass or no pass, they are no longer part of the GPA calculation. In this case, only the C, the 2 Bs, and the A are added together and divided by the number of courses that have letter grades. So 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 equals 12 points. 12 is then divided by the 4 courses we used to add up the points. The same student now has a 3.0 GPA with his recalculation. One important thing to keep in mind is that the student is still responsible for making up all courses they received an F in if they are required for graduation or A through G eligibility. When considering requesting to change your letter grade to a pass, no pass, remember that changing D's and F's will boost your GPA, while requesting A's and B's could drop your GPA. For graduation, C's do not help or hurt your GPA. The GPA required for graduation is 2.0. This means any C grade or higher helps your GPA. Now let's look at how it could impact your A through G GPA for admission to a California State University. Although California State University is a system of universities that have the same admission requirements, it is important to note that some majors may have additional requirements, especially if they are impacted. That may be different from one CSU to another. For the purposes of this session, we will just discuss the CSU admission requirements as a system. Please visit each specific California State University website for the campus or campuses you are interested in to ensure that there aren't additional requirements for your major. CSUs use your GPA along with other factors to determine admission status. GPA and course enrollment are also used to determine college-level course placement. CSU has their own rules for calculating the A through G GPA. The A through G GPA is calculated using grades for courses enrolled the summer after 9th grade through the end of the summer after 11th grade. For fall 2022 freshmen, CSUs require a 2.5 A through G GPA for admissions and will consider a 2.0 to 2.49 GPA for admission utilizing supplemental factors such as number of A through G courses completed, household income, extracurricular involvement, and other factors. These supplemental factors will be determined by CSU campus. In regards to placement criteria, CSU uses multiple measures to determine whether students are ready for college-level English and mathematics courses. These factors include highest course enrollment in math and English, A through G GPA, AP or college-level coursework, and SAT or ACT scores. For more information on multiple measure placement, please log on to the website on your screen. Now let's look at University of California or UC colleges. UC also calculates the A through G GPA utilizing grades for courses enrolled in the summer after 9th grade through the summer at the end of 11th grade. UC requires a minimum A through G GPA of 3.0. UC strongly encourages potential applicants to take, whenever possible, A through G courses for letter grades, especially those in English and mathematics, as well as those in prospective major fields. In regards to financial aid, the CalGrant 8 requires a 3.0 high school GPA, and CalGrant B requires a 2.0 high school GPA for courses enrolled in 10th grade through the summer after 11th grade, excluding courses in PE or ROTC. See the following link for more information. This is a very new policy and information is being updated regularly. Please check the admissions requirements page of any college or university you are interested in applying to regularly to stay up to date on any changes or recommendations. Thank you for your time. We hope the session provided you with enough information to make a decision. If you have additional questions, please contact your school directly.
Thank you, David. So at this time, I'm going to share the website for Madera Unified so you can see where this information is posted. It's also posted with each specific school site. At the very beginning, if we log into the main page, there's information posted right at the front, and AB104 is one of them. You can click on there, and it should have access to all the information you need to fill out the application, as well as the colleges and universities that are accepting a pass, no pass. This information is available in Spanish and English. The video you just watched is available here as well. And we have each of the links for the schools where you can request this grade change. I will go over a couple of points of clarification that have come up since we posted this information. Again, if you have any questions, please post them on the link provided under the Q&A in this Zoom session, and we should be able to answer those as you post them. Just as a reminder, you may only be able to change a letter grade to a pass, no pass grade if it is a class that you were enrolled in last school year. If you were enrolled in fall 2020 and spring 2021, any of those classes, as well as summer 2021, are eligible for a request to a grade change. If a student received an F in a course, their grade will change to a no pass grade. They will not receive credits for the class whether they have an F or a no pass. The no pass grade is just no longer used to calculate the GPA and essentially boosts your GPA. But the student is still responsible for making up the course if it is required for graduation or to meet A through G eligibility requirements. If no request is made to change grades and a student keeps all their letter grades, UC and CSU will calculate their own A through G GPA. When a student makes up a class with an F, the new grade replaces the F in the GPA. So they automatically calculate that into their GPA as well. This policy impacts every student differently. So depending on the grade level that your student is in or was in last school year, the college or university that they plan to attend, the major that they want to apply for or that they're interested in has all different requirements. So it's important for you to do your research and to check each of the admissions websites for the colleges and universities that your student is interested in. Madera Unified School District requires a 2.0 GPA for graduation. It is beneficial for students to request a pass, no pass grade for any D or F. A D will be converted to a pass and the student will keep the 5 credits they earned. And an F will be converted to a no pass. Students will not get any credits for the F grade again. We have information posted on our website. I just showed the link for you guys and it's also on the school website. There is a link on our website to the NCAA website so you can see what it means for NCAA eligibility. And the last thing I want to remind everybody is that the deadline is August 18th. There will be no applications accepted after August 18th. So if you plan on filling out the application, you can turn it in person with a counselor at your site or fill out the application online. And as long as you do it by August 18th, it will be accepted. At this time, if there's any questions, we will take those. Have any come up? I know we were having a problem with the Facebook link, so it doesn't sound like people were able to log in through Facebook.
Selma, we had one panelist asked if we would be reading any of the questions that were submitted via the link ahead of time.
On the link on the website?
So will you be reading questions that were previously submitted through the link you provided?
Okay, I can log into that as we're doing that. There was a second question. Just want to get the second.
Yeah, it's a question in Spanish. Parent Maria Sanchez asking, well, basically saying she has a question, so I just responded, what can we help her with? So hopefully she responds.
Okay. So I did look at these questions online, and there were a couple of specific questions where parents were requesting for the change. The Google form that was used to ask the question is not the same form that you fill out to request the change. So if anybody filled out the Google form to ask the question, you would know because it didn't ask for your student information. If you've done it that way, you will need to resubmit an application through the link for the appropriate school. Someone asked in Spanish if their son would be able to change their grades from last year. They should be able to change any grade from last year. So fall 2020, spring 2021, and summer 2021.
So I have a question, and the question reads, who reviews the applications? Is it by school site? Yes, each school site will be reviewing their own applications, and the student's counselor will actually go in and be reviewing it. And just to make sure that there is going to be no harm done by the request, because we always want to err on the side of helping students.
Thank you, Amy. What I would also add is we didn't ask for sports information. So if you are an NCAA candidate, make sure you put that on your application or let your counselor know so they could review it from that end as well. We did ask for major information and college interest, just so it helps the counselor. It's not so the application is denied. It's really just, as Ms. Anderson said, to ensure that this doesn't affect you negatively, and they'll be contacting you if there's any questions around that. Someone asked if approval would affect college admissions. If you go to the website, it specifically lists the colleges that accept the pass, no pass policy. I will tell you, just due to the pandemic, I looked at out-of-state schools because this is a California policy and was asking only for California schools to submit their name if they're going to accept a pass, no pass. When I looked outside of California, there are like Harvard, for some instances, will accept the pass, no pass, right? So it's important to look at every college that you're interested or your son and daughter is interested in applying and see how that impacts their admissions, because everybody has their own policy for that. And information is getting updated on a regular basis. We have the live link to CDE to list the colleges, but I do know that colleges are also putting things on their admissions website. Were there any other questions that you guys see?
I see one, Selma. I see a parent asking if a 504 plan should make any difference. Does it make a difference if a student has a 504 plan is the question.
Not for the grade change request. A grade change request is available to anybody who was enrolled in 9th through 11th grade last school year and is now a 10th through 12th grade student. So it only impacts high school students. And the purpose of the bill was to, so that it doesn't negatively affect their financial aid and their post-secondary. So from that lens, anybody now in grades 10 through 12 can request a change for last school year. You will have to list every course on the form that you want the grade change for, because we will not change them all automatically. It impacts you differently. So make sure you list every course that you are requesting the grade change for and the semester that you're requesting it for. It looks like we've had 4 more questions since. So I'm going to just look through that. Is anybody else getting any questions?
I see a few, and I apologize if we're going out of order. But one question brings up Aries doesn't have last school year. And I believe what the family is asking is how can they access grades from last school year to start looking at it and seeing?
Thank you, Mr. Collegian. I think that was one of the questions that I was asked on the online form. Counselors, can one of you guys help me answer that?
Grades from last school year should be visible on Aries on the student's transcript. All grades from their high school history should all be available to view on Aries.
Is there a special screen that they have to select as a parent or a student?
To view previous year's grades, they need to go to the student's transcript.
Do we have any more questions?
Anyone could also request a transcript from the registrar at the site as well. So if they have trouble viewing it from Aries, they make a request. There is a way you can do that online through Parchment, requesting transcripts. I'm not sure if we can post that link or if we should share it somewhere, but it's an easy online request form.
And because we are, it is time sensitive, if you're having difficulty looking for the grades and you do put in the request for the transcript before the 18th, we will honor the application before, if you turn it in after that, as long as you put in your request before the 18th.
There's been a couple of questions in the chat as it relates to just athletic eligibility and whether or not students that select the grade change options would then be able to be eligible for athletics because it is improving their grade point average.
Did you bring that up because you just want to hear me talk?
Absolutely. I want to give you a chance to shine.
Yeah, our eligibility policies currently won't change when those grade changes from pass to no pass come in. It could help eligibility wise because the passing grade, obviously, as you noticed in the example that Selma used, could increase GPA, but our district requirement also has a credit or on track to graduate policy as well. So you have to have a 2.0 and be on track to graduate. So obviously that would be on a case-by-case basis. And if you had, you were behind on credits and you ended up with pass, no pass, and a 2.0 or above a 2.0 GPA, but maybe 2 of your classes, you got an NP or an F, that's further 10 more credits that you would be behind, so you would be declared ineligible. So our athletic directors should be able to help with that for our students.
And then one other thing is they do have to have 20 credits completed in the last term, right, Mr. Bitter?
Correct, yeah. I'm sorry, yes, they always have to, CIF and school district policy, you always have to be passing a minimum of 20 credits or 4 classes.
Selma, we did have Rebecca posted the link for the Parchment, and we also had a parent share how to access grades in the parent portal. So thank you. You would select grades and then click on transcript if you want to do it through Aries, or you can use the link to go through Parchment.
Thank you. Do we have other questions pop up?
We have no new questions at this time.
Okay, is there anything anyone else wants to add?
I would just like to add, if you have any questions, please reach out to the site and your counselors specifically, and we can help answer any questions you have. This can be complicated and it's individual to each one of our students. So if you would like to talk through it, we'd be more than happy to have you contact us, because it is time sensitive. So please reach out to your counselor and we can work out what's best for your student.
Okay, just a reminder, the deadline is August 18th. The application is available through Google form on the website, either the district website or the site website. If you have any questions, reach out to your counselor. And I'm looking through to see if there's anything else. We will post these questions and answers on the website tomorrow. And you can continue to use the Google form to ask questions. The AB104 Google form on the website is for questions, but each site has their own application. So you'll know by the name of the school that Google form is for the application for that school to submit your request. Bianca, did you want to add something? It looked like you wanted to talk.
Oh, no, I thought Amy was typing because there was a question about if it applied to our current ninth graders, but this is for the incoming ninth graders. So it's for our current 10th, 11th, and 12th graders specifically.
Thank you. And the bill was passed just to account for fall 2020, spring 2021, and summer 2021. There hasn't been anything until now. It would have to require a new bill to be approved if we were going to count this school year. This is just for those 3 terms last school year.
Here's a good one, Selma. I'm reading, how would we know if you received our application?
I'm trying to remember, Sarah, did we have the forms give them like a receipt that they submitted it on the Google form?
Yes, so they received a receipt that it was received. If it will be not processed, the counselor from the school site should notify the student.
And then the paper forms will be copied at the site. I can't remember, are they returned to the parent or were the counselors going to have a copy of that?
So the counselors will have the copy of the paper form.
Okay.
We've been asking parents to get a copy or retain a copy, but I don't know that all parents kept it.
Yeah, if you go into the office and request a paper form, ask for a copy. That way you have proof that you turned it in.
And then the same parent is following up, because I filled out a form at school and last week online. And so what advice could we give to that parent who already filled that out? Maybe other than what we just replied.
Okay, if they filled it out, it will be reviewed by the counselor. So the counselor can reach out and confirm their once it's approved, can counselors let their parents or students know that you guys have submitted that over? Yes. Okay, we'll have a counselor respond back and say that they've once they process the application.
Yeah, I went ahead and I typed just letting the parent know that counselors are still reviewing them. This isn't it's ongoing. So just be patient with us, but we will make sure to make communications once it's been reviewed.
Yes, we're on a timeline to have that posted too. With the beginning of school, you know, there's a lot of competing factors, but it will be reviewed and processed. And then one of our counselors recommended that counselors email kids once it's reviewed. So yes, go out. You guys could definitely do that. That way parents and students know that that's been processed.
Selma, there is a question in Spanish. The question is, I have my son who is 4 classes behind, and so he failed 4 classes. How can I help them? So specifically in this case, it's making sure that they're putting the no, submitting the form for the no mark, so that it doesn't affect their GPA. But of course, for credit recovery, that's going to be something that they have to speak with their counselor and the school site to identify what they can do through either credit recovery or summer school.
Yeah, sites will have additional opportunities for credit recovery this year. So just make sure you contact your counselor and see what the best plan for you is to make up the credits. But by submitting this request, it will help the graduation GPA. So somebody asked if we're offering this session in Spanish. It is being translated through the interpretation button at the bottom of the screen. I did talk to David Solorio, our IT support, and he's going to also post this on the website afterwards, because we were having some Facebook issues at the beginning, and it will be translated in Spanish as well.
Let's see. I think a follow-up question. The follow-up question is from the parent. So the district will review it first and then the counselor, or how does it work? So I think they're looking for some kind of specific what the process is.
So we put it on the district website because by law we needed to put in district website. Each school site posted it on their website, but the forms are site specific. So they will be processed by the site. What happens is when you turn in the form, counselors have access to view the form and view the request. They're going to look at your individual interest and your grades for the last year. And then they're going to verify that this isn't going to negatively affect it based on the information they have in front of them. Again, you're still responsible for checking with post-secondary and CAA and other websites to ensure that it complies with what your interest and your goals are. And then once they review that, they will send the application to the registrar, and the registrar will post the grades. So it does take a little bit of time to go through that process. And that's why you won't see that change right away. You should be able to see it within 2 to 3 weeks after the deadline. Maybe 4 weeks, if, depending on the number that we get. So somebody asked if they already retook the course, would you advise the parents fill out the form so that the D isn't affecting the GPA? If you're using that, if that GPA is for graduation, it would help students to still submit a request if they have already made it up. In regards to UC and CSU GPAs, they will only look at the higher grade. Does anybody else want to add to that? I'm thinking that's all I can think of in terms of the GPA. Okay, good questions. Is there anything else that's popped up? I'm just refreshing the Google form just to make sure we got everything.
And it looked like there was a question about, can students participate in sports while they're waiting for the grades, the no pass, the pass, no pass to go through. And I would advise to meet with your counselor, or even more importantly, probably meet with your athletic director, and they can tell you pretty much whether you can work out. If you're close, then yes, they can participate until we find out where they're at, but they're not allowed to participate in any games. They can practice, but they would not be able to play in any games until we get a definitive yes or no as to whether they're eligible or not.
I think there was questions too, Selma, about the number of classes a student can list on the electronic form. It looks like there's a maximum of 3, but there are 6, maybe even 7 potential classes.
Yeah, it could actually be up to 12. What we did is we didn't want to make the form too long. So go ahead and resubmit the form with the next 3 courses and then do that until you've done all the courses.
Thank you.
Do we see any more questions pop up? David, you confirmed that we can print these questions. That way we can repost them later, right?
I believe we can. We once this is all done, it should populate on the Zoom side, and then we should be able to get them. Sorry.
No worries. I'm not seeing any more questions on here. Are you guys seeing questions? No. Okay, sounds good. Thank you everybody for watching. You guys asked great questions. We're trying to post everything on our website just so you have the information in front of you. Again, the deadline's August 18th. Make sure you complete your form either online or in paper form by August 18th. And you should be able to get some information for sure by the second weekend in September. It should be posted, or you should have gotten a response by then. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.